guys with beards. Some fellow was Payas working for Chase Manhattan, Citibank. All doors are open today. And you have some very, very religious people who who leave early on Friday afternoon and are allowed to do it by these firms because they need them. They need them because the workforce is expanded to such a great degree that they'll take anybody that's competent and willing to work hard. Yeah.
How does your company treat the employees you have?
What do what?
How did you treat the employees you have? How much?
The employees?
Yeah.
You know how to do treatment.
Well, they have any benefits like?
Oh yes, yes. We had a union. We had. In those days, it was different. You didn't have the medical insurance like you have today, but they had vacations and they had certain benefits, medical benefits that they would get.
Social Security.
So what Social Security was not. We didn't give them Social Security. They were entitled. That was part of the law.
Right.
But it was different in those days. They didn't have the benefits in general that people have today. Today, most companies give you medical benefits where the employee pays practically nothing, and the employer picks up most of the cost of the insurance. Yes?
Could you repeat again why you decided to close your business so early, sell it?
Why we decided to sell it? Yes, I'll tell you why. My older brother, Manny, was not in very good health. He worked as hard as he could. Also, the business was expanding, and we couldn't get the lines of credit from the banks that we needed to expand the business. The banks, we did business with Chemical Bank, with Bankers Trust, and with National City Bank, which is now Citibank. And I said, look, fellas, we love you, but we just can't give you any more credit. And anything going up to a certain amount, we'll give you, but we can't give you any more credit. So it was a question of selling out the business to a public company, or what we could have done, we could ourselves sold stock to the public and become a public company. We could have done that also. We could have sold, say, gotten hold of an underwriter and said, look, we want to sell our company to the public. We want to, say, float a million shares at $6 a share, so we get $6 million. You know what I mean? But then you're a public company. But we did not want to do that because when you're a public company, you have to have stockholder meetings. They're entitled to know everything you're doing, and we did not want to do that. We would rather sell our business to a company, get our money, and not have any more of that responsibility.
And your children weren't, at the time, interested in going into the business, I think. They wanted to study profession.
Well, my son Elliot did not want to go.
I know that.
Yes.
You could describe in one sentence, what is your philosophy behind a successful business?
That's a very, very difficult question because to be a successful businessman, you mean? Well, in many cases, you don't have to have college education. There are many fellows that have gone from high school with a lot of energy and hard work, brains, keeping their eyes open, taking advantage of opportunities. They become very, very successful. But generally, if you want to start a business on your own, you have to have the backing. You have to have someone to back you. You have to have a lot of money. You have to have lines of credit from the bank. You have to sell good merchandise, not shoddy merchandise. And it depends on the type of merchandise that you sell. If you're selling consumer-oriented things, you have to do advertising because people won't know what your product is unless you advertise. If you're making precision parts, you don't have to advertise because the average guy doesn't care if your part goes into an automobile. He's interested in an Oldsmobile or a Pontiac or General. He doesn't care about the parts. So it's a very, very broad, I mean, it's difficult for me to get to pinpoint an answer for you because business is such tremendous horizons, no matter where you look. I mean, you can have almost any kind of business. Construction, real estate, securities, manufacturing, distributing. Anything else? Any other questions? Yes?
It sounded like you had a nice balance with your home life and with your business, that you weren't driven by the business as so many men are. Can you describe that a little bit, or maybe your wife would like to comment? Was he home
Well,
when he needed
Well, I
to?
used to travel. I used to go down to the factories about every 6 weeks for about 4 days. I'd leave on a Sunday night, and I'd come back on a Thursday night. This was about every 6 weeks. The rest of the time I was home. And I'd call almost every night to find out how the kids were. And so on.
But you wouldn't categorize yourself as a workaholic? I mean, that you were able to
No,
manage
no.
family as well?
On weekends, I'd take my son Elliot to a football game, and I'd take him different places with my wife, sometimes with the kids. During the summer, we'd go away, we'd rent the house. I would not consider myself a workaholic. We had a pretty well-balanced home. And took the kids to services with me, Shabbat, so that they had a balance of both, you know.
We had a gentleman tell us that every business has a unique selling proposition, something that makes their business...
Unique selling what?
Unique selling proposition,
Yes.
something that makes their business special. If you have a few minutes to think about it, could you come up with what you thought was unique? It sounded like your business was unique at the time it started. And it continued to be, was it one of few, very
Well,
few
you
in
see,
the field?
within our business, we had a diversified business within our business because we sold sewing machine parts. We sold, at the beginning, used sewing machines, and then we sold new sewing machines, imported sewing machines, and then we sold furniture for sewing machines, which we had manufactured down in Tennessee. The house machines that we were importing later from Japan, that was a consumer item, that had to be advertised. We advertised in different magazines. But the furniture that we sold to the dealers, we did not advertise because if we would sell, say, 100 cabinets to R.H. Macy, Macy was not going to advertise our cabinet, they would advertise the Macy machine, you
Yes,
see?
yes.
So it all depended on what the item was. The parts, we did not have to advertise because the mechanic would take that part and put it into a machine in a garment factory, and the garment factory owner did not care, as long as the machine worked and was able to get out 1,000 garments a day.
But you alluded to early on, I think, the quality, that you were very...
Yes, quality is very, very important, and the quality of the parts, yes, that was a reputation that we had when we were importing from Germany, and later on, when we finally developed the manufacture of these parts in New Jersey, quality was of extreme importance.
And the other thing that I liked was that you brought up for the students, that you mentioned honesty, because I think today in particular,
Yes.
what you read in the papers is very disturbing. And I've told the students they can make money and be honest at the same time. They don't have to.
Definitely, and I agree 100%.
So I'm glad you backed me up on that.
Yes, yes.
Very, very good.
Any other questions?
We'll come back in 20 years and see how they made it.
Yes, we'll see all the young businessmen in a few years.
Well, thank you very much for allowing me to come in, and I hope I...
We thank you for coming. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To company down on Wall Street called an underwriter. An underwriter is a man that says, okay, Mr. Schilder, you want to sell your business? I figure that your business is worth $6 million. And let's see, we'll sell 1 million shares to the public at $6 each. And we'll send out a prospectus, it's called a prospectus.